In the last 2 decades, Philadelphia has seen a boom in its immigrant population, with over 60% arriving after 1990.
First of all, the housing is very affordable, and so many people are relocating, maybe from other areas, maybe from New York, where housing is very expensive. So we have some we call them secondary migrants, if they landed at one place and then they travel to a second city. Secondly, I think that you reach a point where you get a core of immigrant groups or a particular group, and then they petition for their family members, and it kind of expands fairly rapidly. And in this case, I think we had some new populations coming maybe 15 years ago. And now that they're settled, they are beginning to send for their relatives. And most immigrants who come through family sponsorship.
There's, some predictability based upon what groups have situated themselves successfully here thus far and what continents they're from. If there's a fairly large group of people, that's more of an attractor, that's more of a magnet for people from the other end of the world, let's say from the global south, to come to Philadelphia. A big influence would be not only the job market, but, do they have, are there pockets, are there communities within the city or in the environment where they're going to have a great deal of ethnic familiarity. An example of that is the Russian and Eastern European community in Greater Philadelphia, in particular in the Northeast. I do know we have a growing Asian population from various different countries on the Asian continent. We also have a growing Caribbean and Latino population.
The adjustment and the integration is different for different groups. I think the restaurant industry has benefited, and the healthcare industry, human services and healthcare. I say right now, the biggest service that is being requested is for naturalization assistance.
One of the biggest ones is that we hear a common myth or common response around immigration is, why don't people just get in line? Why don't people come legally, or the way I did or my parents did? But really, for the common person, there is no line to get in back of. So for example, in a lot of countries, the way they prove that you're not coming to overstay your visa and permanently stay in the US is by seeing if you have land, property, or a certain amount of money in the bank account. So if you're a rural farmer or a peasant farmer, day laborer, or who doesn't have that, you have no option of getting a visa to the US. So I think, the laws that we had on the books when, our parents or ancestors came over are very different than they were today.